Hello and welcome back to round 12 of the WESPAC Play Live in Accra, Ghana. So here we are. I think this is the SIKA Gold event. This is not the main event. So we are streaming the SIKA event right now. So we have Omijeh, I believe, and Cyril on stream right now. So okay, I believe the game started with Vorant for 26 points by Cyril, and we got Vibed for 22 points from Omijeh, and then Cyril played Dark for 25 points. And right now we are seeing Fab come through from Omijeh for 15 points. Now it's back to Cyril with a rack of Quen, QU, he, her, hen, PL. Okay, a couple of options will be to play King, which he has done already. King goes for 24 points, leaving ELPRU. Alright, we're back to OBJ. He has pretty synergic tiles. This looks bingo body, and we might be saying one. So through the T of Vorant, he could play Retinoid from his rack for 63 points. So if he's able to spot that, we are going to see the first bingo of the game. Now, the SIKA Gold is a side event from WESPAC, and we've been streaming the main events. Now, this is a deviation to see other categories, and we have amazing players in these categories as well. So we are streaming the round 12, and I believe this is the players we have here are both Nigerian, and they are on it. Now, what do you think about this game so far? Coin.
I think the game would be very wonderful. Cyril is such a brilliant player, an amazing one. He placed first position at the President's Cup 2.0, the initial stage. And same thing with Omijeh Osaghaede, wonderful player. Their head-to-head currently is 2-0 in Cyril's favor. So I'm really excited to see how this one pans out.
Nice. Nice, wonderful players. Like I said earlier, we have in different categories of this World Championship. Now, I believe he missed that bingo of retinoid and he played DIB instead. Wow! So we've seen the first miss of the game. I believe it's Cyril Stone with a rack of PUILLER. Now this looks quite interesting, but he does not have any playable bingos. But he could play Leap just right beside DAK for 21 points, although he's exposing the triple lane right below. What do you think about that move?
Yes, I think Leap is quite fine, keeping RULE, and he could opt for something different, maybe LI, but that scores just 12 points.
Okay, we might be getting something entirely different. I think I see him go for NILE. Okay, he's taking that back. Okay, are we saying polar here?
Looks like it's polar.
Okay, I'm not really sure what the thought process behind that move might be. Probably wanting to play more to pick more, but Pula has been committed for 15 points. Now I see Joiner High, J O High NER High on Omijeh's rack, and even though I don't see where Joiner exactly could fit on this board, he could play Joe for 20, or it could play Koji. Koji does expose the triple lanes, it gives a lot back to his opponent. So I think he's playing safe. He might give a lot, depending on what the opponent plays. So I think he's playing safe and going for Joe 20 points, leaving EIINR. Now it's back to Cyril with GRGVMIA. Now a bit of clunky tiles with just two vowels.
And he played VAG.
Okay, so VAG might not be exactly my option here, but playing something like MIGG isn't such a bad idea, but VAG does close the upper portion of this board, so that might be his process towards that move. Now it's back to Omijeh with Tinia. I think Tinia does play on its own, okay, but then it's not playable on this board. So that must be quite something for Omijeh. So it can play maybe king by adding the N through the E of vibed to form king and Ned for 16 points, leaving EIINRT. What do you think about that move going?
I think that's fine, but I think it would want to drop IN, considering they are the double duplicate tiles that he has. So we want to drop one I and one N.
Yeah, that's pretty solid for him to want to do that. So immediately we see Miz MIZ coming down from Cyril for 46 points. Now it's back to Omijeh with EINTERU.
Yes, I think we should be seeing at least one bingo come down with uterine, retinue,
Retinue.
new
Exactly.
rights.
I think retinue and uterine should be able to fit on this board. Yeah, we should be able to see either one of those two. Uterine can fit right above pain with the N, with the U hooking the N, but as we all know, that exposes the triple lane ball. It does cost 70 points, but it could decide to play it just below pain for um 68 points, 2 points less. Also, it could play retinue with the T hooking the pain, and I think that is what we are seeing here. So he's deciding to go for retinue vertically for 68 points. Now, would you play that going?
I think retinue over there is better because the threat is not as much as putting the E on the triple lane. That's a very versatile.
And Syria might be running into a bit of consonant issue. He's having all consonants, and I think we would be either getting an exchange, or he could play through the R of retinue. He could play Grail, GRRRL for 21 points, but I think we got an exchange instead. He probably didn't say that. Okay, an exchange it says. Now it's back to Omijeh with HIGPERS. Okay, with this rack, what are his options going?
I mean, it could do peg. Peg scores 32, or pair, KIPZE.
KIPZE.
Although it could do serif, through the R of retinue for 42. That's if he's willing to, let go of his S. But yeah, I think peg or pair is fine.
Yeah, I think for this turn, Serif might be a top choice. You could also play with Sheep if he's willing to let go of his S for 36 points, leaving GR. Now, from my tiles, I might want to probably keep my S and then maybe play peg or pair, PH. So either leaving GIRS or HIRS. So now let's see what he plays.
All right, for those of you just joining us, this is round 12. WESPAC happening live in Accra, Ghana. This is not the main event. This is the SIKA or Gold event. And on stream we have Umijeh Osaghaede. Is a player from Nigeria, and he placed third at the 15th Africa Scrabble Championship, the Challenger category. He was he placed third, and yes, amazing player. We also have Cyril Umebiye on stream.
Okay, I think
There was a silly,
he had a little bit
mistake.
of oversight there. He decided
Yes,
to go for
pig
PIG, and as we all know, ZI
is
is
very
invalid.
invalid.
Wow,
Yes,
that must be very painful for him. So he did play that, and unfortunately, they didn't even have to go to the
yes,
to
yes.
check. He knows that was wrong. So now, back to Cyril with a rack of UNTTEY. I believe there should be one more. Okay, I think it's on the board already. HU. Okay, from this rack, it could play HYTE. That's called a lot, but it's kind of obscure. And I think his motive right now would be to
Take out that R. It has been there for too long.
exactly. So I think he wants to play something
Different.
Yeah, I think he went for HERY. HERY. Okay, I've been committed by him for 30 points instead.
And
Now,
now Omide gets the chance he missed the other time to actually play. I wonder if this would affect the game on the long run. He
I
plays
mean,
peg for 32 points.
it definitely might because that turn he lost wasn't really necessary, for being honest, because he could have played the same exact word there and then right now he would have been leading comfortably. Maybe not comfortably, but at least with about 30 points more or 40 points. So that must have really set him off a bit. So I thought we were getting a bingo there, but I see Gauntly coming through from Cyril. Okay. All right. So Gauntly committed for 36 points, leaving T. Now it's back to Omijeh with SAGRSI. Okay, what are your options here? What would you play here for him?
Considering that he has two S's, he could do Psy for 25 or something different like Garish, forming UGEA, Garish for 25, keeping just one of the S's.
Yeah, I think both sides scores the same, and then he might easily spot Psy for 25, leaving ARS. So let's see what it comes up with. But if he does decide to leave both S's, he could play Hajj through the day of Joe. Hajj scores just 1 point more for 26, leaving GIRSS.
I think that's fine, leaving the R on his rack and one S because of we still have I think about 5 to 6 E's in the bag. So if he's lucky enough to get one alongside the right tiles, it could shape up and become a bingo.
Definitely. So I think he's going for inch here.
And it leaves ARS on his rack.
Okay, playing signs would score more. I mean, with the same
Set of
set of
tiles.
tiles,
Yes.
but he did go for inks for 18 points. Now I think we are getting, oh my god, this we might be getting a bingo here from the S that is just played from Omijeh, but I see that he's taking that back. Okay, he probably wanted to play station, but I believe it has just two T's, not three things. So okay, so it's taking that back and it's going for something different. Okay, I believe it's gone for Tanto instead.
And as you can see, the first blank has found its way to Omijeh's rack.
Okay,
Do you think you'll be able to do, something with this rack? Do you think you'll be able to get a bingo down?
I mean, we should see from his rack. I think there's a seven letter of Rosiola. So if he's able to spot that, he could easily hook the S to the tanto that is just being played by Cyril. And other options might be to play through the T of tanto by playing rootages. Both options exposes the triple triple either ways.
Yeah, I think that's the only downside of playing that. The game is quite close. Um, he might not want to risk it because there's still one blank on Steam.
Yeah.
But then it's down by 27. Do you think it is worth risking? I mean, Rosiola scores 70 and Vita just scores 61. So do you think it's worth risking?
Personally, I might go for the risk, but we see. Okay, this is quite interesting. I'm not particularly sure why he played that or the thought process behind that. But then he's leaving AERS blank on his rack, so I'm sure he's sure he would be playing a bingo in the next round. Okay, so we are saying Stro, come down. Interestingly, that setup has been used by Cyril to play Stro for 46. 6 points.
That's a
Now, do
lot.
you think he should have played the Rosiola or the Rootages
Now the
in
thing
the
is,
next
he
round?
might not have seen either of the two, but then putting two O's in that juicy spot, especially where a lot of letters go there, C and the likes, you can go on and on. I think that might have been a mistake on his part.
Exactly. Honestly thought about it too. It might be a probability that he didn't see both words. But at the same spot, maybe he's not even looking towards that spot because now he has another bingo with a set of rack. He could play Cosage for
I see
78
even
points.
Costa.
Exactly. Even Costa can be played. Even Cosia, Costa can be played. Yes. And then towards the Y of Guntley, he could play Coasley for 76 points. Okay, so I believe I may have made a mistake with his rack. He has Caerse. All right, he has no O on his rack with a blank. At the same spot, though, he could play with space or rescale, making the blank L or P. Other options might be to play maybe hectares if he decides to use the T of Tanto for 67 points. Do you see any other bingo he could play?
Uh, no, not at all. But I think at this point, with the way the game is looking, the only spot where he would have to, look towards is if he's able to lace tiles over Gauntly, or if he's playing right underneath
Tanto.
Tantos or to the Y, or if he's playing next to Tantos, but like spots where Bingos would land would be in that direction. So I think that's
Exactly.
where it should be looking.
And I think he's not really looking towards that spot. So let's see if he does find the spot and go for his multiple choice of bingos. So the current score is Sirius 276 to Omijeh's 214. Now, if he's able to bingo, it would bring him back in this game, and he will be leading with about about 10 points plus thereabouts. Although he does stand with a chance to be hit by a triple triple 9 pointer if his opponent can cash in the newly exposed spots. So let's see if he decides to play there. Okay, while we wait for Omijeh's move, following the SIKA Gold side events, I think the top three currently we have Cyril, which we have on our screen right now, and he is currently on 9 wins and just 2 losses. Following closely is Ikolo Anthony, who is also on 9 wins. The difference is the spread. He has a spread of about 5-9, 5-7-9 to Cyril's 5 622. Now the third position is Bimbo Kusanya with 8 wins and 548 spread. So if Cyril does win this round, he would be he would be on 10 wins and further securing his win. Now in fourth position, worth mentioning, we have David from Nigeria. In fact, I would like to say the top seven contestants are from Nigeria. That is very impressive. And then in fifth position, we have Akabre Priscilla. And coming in sixth position is Collins Okafor, and seventh position is Oji David. After which we have the Kenyan coming close with the name of Musioka Kevin. So I believe Omijeh has finally seen that sport, and I believe he's playing with scale for 74 points. Now let's see the blank designated to be sure.
Yes, confirmed, rescale, and I think we would be seeing, a challenge here.
Oh wow. I think he's probably unsure of Campos because
Yes, that should be it. All right, and it is green. Rescale Tanto is very valid.
Tanto looks like a word that should take ES
Yes,
instead
yes,
of
yes.
S. So
Can be quite confusing.
so him challenging is not really a new thing. I would probably do the same. Yes, definitely. So now it's back to Cyril, I believe. He has a rank of AUREIIL. Okay, I don't see much to do here, but considering they're all 1 pointers, but it could play. Okay, I think it's going for AUREI for 18 points. Not bad, but it could play Hell High EU just beside Stroll for 22 points, leaving AIR. What do you think about that one, Colin?
Yeah, I think it doesn't, have a lot of options, considering the fact that he has, two consonants and a lot of vowels. And it looks like Omidi, on the other hand, is having, a blast. He has the X and he has the second blank on his rack.
Definitely. I must say it's raining blanks for Omijeh as he has picked the second blank. So this game is very close at this point. It could turn to anybody's win because we can't really say for sure whose game it is. But right now, Cyril is on 294 to Omijeh's 293. Now I think Omijeh can score like pretty decent this round, considering he just picked the X. He could play Fox for 34 points. And I think we are saying that leaving AER blank. Now, if I was Cyril, considering there's still one more blank, would you probably try to block the only available floater for bingo, which is the REI, or would you hope, in his own point of view, he doesn't know his opponent as the blank. So would you probably still leave that spot and hope to pick the blank, or would you go ahead and take it out?
I really think he doesn't have to hope as he's coming down with a big of disclaim.
Oh wow,
Yes, looks like he has a big of his own disclaim
this has
coming down
gotten
right now.
very interesting. Now, this claim coming down from Cyril has really taken out the chance of Omijeh been going.
And
And
there's
we
going
do
to be
see
a
a
challenge.
challenge.
This claim is very valid actually.
Unfortunately, it is a valid word. So additional 5 points for Cyril. Wow,
Yes, and it's green.
it's really going. Seeing the blank tile on Omij's rack, I would have thought we would be seeing the next bingo from Omije, but
That's the thing about Scrabble, you never can tell. It's not over until it's over.
exactly, it's not over until it's over. Anything can happen. So now it's back to Omije. We have ERAOWE blank. Now we know what to do with the blank. He could play
Something like wool. Wool scores 38.
I think he could also play if he's willing to use his blank now. I mean, he could play maybe Resil or Resil, but playing Wo actually scores more, and he could keep his blank for later, maybe towards the end game, and see if anything can change.
I really think the game is close to being over right now. I think he has to find a sequence that would be best for him, the perfect sequence for him to finish because Cyril has AEI. I'm not so sure he would be able to finish, although the X right over the triple word score is there. Playing XI, they give him 27 points. And then the scores are currently 363 to 327. So Cyril is leading with about 30 to 36 points. Yes, about 36 points. So Rizzo scores 65 and scores 35 rather, and it will leave him with just A and E, which he would be able to finish with. But then again, would it be enough for him to win?
Hmm. That is something he would have to ponder on. So I think playing Riso would be his top choice, leaving AE, and then if Siri responds with the X, he can drop his eye there and then just play 27 for 27 points, and I think that can guarantee his win for sure in this game.
Yeah, I think if he does Riso scoring 35, I think Cyril will drop his eye to score 27, and the most he would be able to finish with that's Omije would be EA for 15. So I think Cyril would win either way.
Yeah, definitely. But we might be seeing something different here. Oh, okay. We do
Looks like he's
see.
doing something entirely different. I mean, Riso scores how many again? 35.
Okay, I think it's going for something else. It's going for wool.
I think he really has to be. Oh wow, it goes for Wu and then Cyril plays ARIE and I see them standing to go to the computer. Well,
ARIE is a valid word, so that
yes,
would be an additional.
5 points for him.
Well, I think he did miss the opportunity to play Riso instead. I mean, that would not guarantee his win, but then it will close up the margin at the end of the day.
Well,
So Ari committed with additional 5 marks. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of round 12 SIKA Gold category. Wow, what do you think about this game?
I think this game was amazing. we saw Retinue, we saw Guntley, which wasn't a bingo, but it was a wonderful play. We saw Rescale and then Disclaim. I think both players played optimally in this game. It was an exciting game to watch. Brilliant play from both of them. And again, the time factor, one player has 25 seconds and the other has 30 minutes.
Do
You
you
know,
think that affected his end game sequence?
I think so. When you are on pressure and when you're under pressure and you don't want to drop time, you tend to, not think how you would usually think on a normal day when you have more than enough time. But still, it was a wonderful play from both of them. I really enjoyed this game. Yes.
Yeah, I think we did have some misses in the beginning. He could have played retinoid through the T of Varans, but then this claim came in clutch at the end for Cyril, and he was able to bounce back after Omijeh played the skill. So it's been a beautiful game through and through, and that brings us to the end. Congratulations again to Cyril for winning this one. Um, Stay tuned for the next round.